Hey YouTube! Thanks for stopping by my channel, The Magical Solution. My name is Leilani. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a loyal subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope you continue to do so. So today's topic was requested by one of my YouTubers and friends, a video on mental clarity. Okay, so I'm actually glad this was requested for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you've noticed in my previous videos, I focus a lot on, cleansing and cleansing baths and blessing baths and things that have to do with clearing out and protecting and cleansing the body, right? And that's really important. These couple of videos that you've seen thus far, and if you haven't already seen them, I really suggest you check them out. It's a DIY cleansing bath, DIY blessing bath, and then the one that I just did earlier, which was a brief discussion on protection. And the reason why I did all of those in the sequence that I did them in and why I'm harping so much on them is because cleansing, blessing, and protection are the three things that are continuous in your practice. Like you always have to do them. You always need to refresh and need to cleanse and need to protect yourself. So it's important to have various different little techniques and different ways you can do them. You can make it a ritual. You can make it something simple that you just kind of splash onto you. There are so many different ways of going about it, right? So the cleansing bath video that I did can be a bath. It could be a floor wash. It could be something that you dip your feet in. It could be something that you just splash on to yourself before you leave the house. So that cleansing bath was a really multi-dimensional kind of work. The one that I wanted to do today for you, though, is more of a ritual kind of context. It's a cleansing that is done in a stationary place in your ritual workspace that you just kind of keep an eye on and you watch and keep lit and protected, right? And by keeping this item protected, this particular ritual protected, you're also keeping yourself protected. So it's kind of like, what is that called? Asympathetic magic, right? So I'm going to put the video on pause really quick, and I'm going to point it downward to what it is I have in front of me, and then we can kind of go through it together. But before I do, I just kind of wanted to briefly say, if you've seen the video on the discussion of protection, one of the things that I had left out of that video, and I kind of left it out a little purposefully, is this idea of utilizing your spirits, right, for protection. I left that out because not everybody works with spirits, and I get that. However, if you do work with spirits, what I wanted to just kind of add and throw in there is that as long as you're taking care of your spirits, as long as you are feeding them, giving their offerings, having gratitude, and all that good stuff, you really don't have to worry too heavily on or be too paranoid about protection. They will have your back for sure. Any kind of spiritual stuff that's getting thrown at you will have to go through them first. So if you're taking care of them and you're feeding them and you're doing what you got to do, it won't get past them. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there. All right, so this one is a mental clarity video, and it was requested because of a couple of reasons. Number one, ever since the eclipse and ever since all of these weird, astrological stuff that's going on in the sky, people have just been kind of out of whack. People have just not been themselves lately, and people are getting foggy. People are losing sleep and getting insomnia, having nightmares. Family members are looking at other family members and with a bad eye. People are getting the evil eye. People you thought you knew, all of a sudden they don't seem like themselves anymore. Like, there's just so much stuff going on. So what this little mini ritual is for is to help yourself, number one. If you suffer from depression, anxiety, insomnia, racy thoughts, nervousness, if you have any of those issues, or if you just feel foggy and you're just not clear-headed, or if you need more clarity with your divination and your readings and stuff, this is great for you. But it's also good if you want to direct it to another person. if you feel like this person needs to see more clearly and is being blinded by circumstances in their lives, and they need to be revealed the truth, this is a great little working as well. Okay, and the only difference that you would have to do is just get like a picture of them or a piece of their DNA or something, place it into this work, or place it underneath, however you want to do it. Okay, but for now I'm keeping it very like non-target free so that you can see just sort of the basis on how to go about doing it, and you can tailor it whichever way you want to. All right, so I'm going to pause it really quick, point it down, and we'll get started. Cool. Okay, so here we are. So it's Halloween time. All of the cool Halloween stuff is out in the store right now. So of course, I got myself a beautiful little skull jar. This is gorgeous. I got this at Michael's, pretty inexpensive. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make a water lamp. Okay, now the reason why we're making a water lamp is because water is symbolic of clarity. Water is symbolic of healing. And the reason why we're turning it into a lamp is because light and fire is all about, wisdom, clarity. It's about enlightenment, bringing, revealing truth and putting light upon the darkness. So it's kind of all getting thrown in there together, right? So the very first thing I always do with all of my works is all of my works involve giving some sort of thank you or offering to the spirits that I work with. So my offering for today is just a couple of flowers. I'm going to put that down at the very bottom. Now, if you're going to do this for a target for somebody, you would want to put their picture or their DNA or something in the bottom first before you do anything else to make sure that they're in there. Or you can just lift up the jar and put it down here. Okay? Then you're going to want to put your dry items and the things that will sort of be weighted down and be brought down to the bottom. So because this is all about clarity and because this is all about your mental, you don't want to stuff this up too much. You don't want too many herbs. You don't want a lot of different colors going on. You definitely don't want it to get murky and dark, because this is supposed to be symbolic of your mind. You and this work is supposed to be connected, especially if you put like a piece of your hair or a piece of your spit in there. Now it's basically you. So don't make this too clouded. Don't put too much stuff in it. If you're noticing it is too messy, I would suggest starting all over again. You really don't want to mess with that when it comes to your mind, okay? So what we'll do is we'll have our 3 stones, and stones are a safe bet in that sense in terms of having a hard item that you want in the working, because stones don't leak, like they don't leave a color or they don't mess up the water. They do charge it, however. So I have some clear quartz here. Clear is perfect for this kind of working. If this is all you have, this is pretty much all you need. We have the rose quartz, obviously for self-love, right? And then we have selenite. Now, I decided to use selenite instead of rutilated quartz, mainly because I don't have rutilated quartz at my disposal. Selenite would be considered the stone of the angels, a holy stone, very, very spiritual stone, usually associated with enlightenment, right? However, the rutilated quartz, if you have that at your disposal, I would definitely use that as well, because the rutilated quartz, what that does is that it helps you to reveal the truth. It cuts through the facade and whatever is blocking your ability to see what's really going on in the world, right? So if you have that, definitely throw that in there. Citrine is also a good one to use. Amethyst is also a good one to use. I'm trying to think of some other stones that would be good for this. Blue lace agate would be good to use. Mostly any of the blue ones would be good to use, because that's all about, clarity and wisdom and communication and all that good stuff. So those are pretty awesome, right? So I got that in there. What else am I looking for? Then this is my clear sight rice. I make this along with all these other rices. I make love rice and money rice and all this fun stuff. But in this rice, you'll see some amethyst, you'll see some chamomile, some lavender, just a few things. Now, I don't want to put too much of this because this will darken the water, this will cloudy everything up. So what I'm really trying to do is kind of pick out all those little amethyst pieces and those little chamomile pieces, because that's really what I want. So I'm going to be doing just a smidge of that. Plus there's a little bit of glitter in here, and you know, that's cute. Okay. So throw that in there. Okay. All right. Then the last set of dry items I'm going to put in before I start getting to the wet stuff is my salts. Salts are very important for purification, for cleansing, for protection, and it also, on the flip side, grounds you as well. Salt is a very grounding mineral. And so when you have someone who's kind of like a daydreamer, or someone who dreams too big and doesn't quite do any action, it's just all talking all this like, oh, I'm going to do this with my life and I'm going to do that with my life, but they never like do anything. Salt is definitely a good one to throw into this process. So what I decided to do was use my salts from the 3 different oceans. So we have the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Mediterranean, right? And this way, they're kind of getting grounded all over the world, right? Okay, so a little bit of this one. A little bit of this one. Honey, you can come out if you want to. It's not going to distract me. I'm doing this in the living room, so I've got a lot of foot traffic going on here, and it's totally okay. So we got the 3 salts in there. Perfect. Now that we've gotten all of our dry items in here, it's time to start putting our wet items in. So the very first thing we're going to put in is our water. Now, the kinds of water that you can put in one kind of water, or you can put in a combination of different kinds of waters, which is what I did. So I pre-mixed them in a separate container, and now I'm going to pour them in here. So what I put in there was a mixture of rainwater, coconut water, Rose of Jericho water, holy water, and lemon water, and let me see. Did I put lemon water? No, I did not put lemon water. I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. No, I did. I did put lemon water, lily water, and iris water. So there's a couple of flowers in there, a couple of citrus pieces in there, some nut water in there. So like all of these elements are thrown in. So it's very natural, very earthy. So here we go. But it's clear. You see how clean this is? There's nothing floating in there, and that's really, really, really important, because you want it as clean and as clear as possible. Now I'm going to fill it up to a certain point. Let's see, this looks good. There we go, that looks good. You know what, there's only like a drip left anyway. Okay. That looks good, very, very good. Then the last step we're going to do is, because remember, it's a lamp, it's a water lamp. So now we have to fill this top part with oil. And that oil, I'll then put a floating wick in there and light that up. And that will be how this lamp is composed. But check it out so far. It looks really great, right? Really, really good. So now in this oil, what I did was I infused, like I boiled the oil, heated it up with all of these herbs in it. So here we go. Here are the herbs. I had some yerba mate. I had some borage, some tulsi. Let's see. I had some periwinkle, some sage, a little bit of dried lotus, a little bit of, what else did I have? Skullcap, a little bit of mugwort. I think that was it. Did I also have, oh, and a little bit of rue, goat's rue, specifically goat's rue. And that was it for the oils. So I basically boiled all of that up, right? And then once it was all boiled, I strained all of the herbs out and then put it in a separate container and added my essential oils. Now the essential oils I did were juniper, cypress, eucalyptus, vetiver, lavender, frankincense, and then there's this blend that I absolutely love from Young Living. It's called Clarity. Like, it's specifically meant for this kind of working. And the ingredients in this bad boy are basil, cardamom, rosemary, peppermint, coriander, geranium, bergamot, lemon, lang lang, jasmine, Roman chamomile, and pomarosa. All of this is... I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so all of this is meant, like this blend is specifically meant to rejuvenate the mind, bring focus to the mind, improve memory, improve attention, as well as the dried herbs that were boiled in here. Okay, some of the herbs in here are great for the nervous system, are great for helping to build new, ooh, I just burned something over here. Okay, new synapses and new pathways in the brain. Like, it's amazing. Like, this whole blend all together is really great. So I put it all together, and now you're just gonna pour this right on top, and as you see, it's gonna make these bubbles and it's gonna like act crazy, but then it's gonna settle all at the top. Okay. And you kind of want it as close to the rim as possible. Ooh, I got it a little spilled out a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. That's because it has like a little bit of an angle, but that's okay. Okay. But it's definitely deep enough that I can then just stick this little floating wick in here and we're good to go. Now, before we light it up though, what we want to do is create a little bit of a barrier. So we're gonna take some cascarilla powder. Boom, that's my little recipe right there. I love making cascarilla. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. And we're just gonna make a quick little barrier around here. Now what this does is it protects on a spiritual level, the cascarilla. And then I'm also going to put a barrier up here that'll help protect the mind on a physical level. But first, let's do this. FYI, my husband corrected me. The Mediterranean Sea is not an ocean. It's that was my bad. I do sell my cascarilla. On my website and on my Facebook. I love my husband. He's over there in the corner with signs and stuff. Like, don't forget to tell him that you sell this and stuff. I love you. I love you. You're so sweet. All right, so the next one is, so I said that the cascarilla is there for the spiritual protection, and the nettle, stinging nettle, is amazing for that physical protection. Stinging nettle, what that does is it absorbs, like it's almost like a bulletproof vest, you know, any kind of attacks that might be coming your way, it kind of just takes the first impact, boom, and it kind of stops it before it tries to go any further. So you do this all the way around your candle, all right? So notice how the plate is nice and white, the vessel is clear, the vessel is nice and clean. Look at that from the side. Beautiful, nice and clean. So when you go to light this, you are all good to go. Okay, so like I said, you can add the picture of the target that you want at the bottom or inside the actual vessel itself, or you don't have to at all. You can have it just for yourself. You can chant whatever prayers you'd like around it that have to do with protection. A lot of people like to use the Psalms, but it's completely up to you what makes you feel good. You can sing a song, but for me, I'm gonna leave this just like this. It looks so pretty, you guys. I also do this in oil form, like just in pure oil form. This one needs to get a little cleaned, but yeah. So it won't be a water lamp, it just be pure oil, okay? So if you guys have any questions, let me see if I missed any of my other ingredients, because I had so many in here. I did miss an ingredient. In the water, I had Zephyr flower water in there, all right? Just for future reference. So make sure you make sure you subscribe, comment if you have any questions, or if you are going to try this at home, let me know how it went for you. If you have your own way of doing a mental clarity, working, let me know. I'm all about learning something new. In the meantime, thank you for stopping by again, and we will talk soon. Bye.